Ugh.
Nobody ever does a hot one. The hot opening. I mean, people do hot ones. That is a show called Hot Ones, but we're doing a cold one, i.e. a cold opening. And that's how we're rolling into the new year, as we did before, and as we intend to do so for probably evermore until one of us, probably me, dies. We are on the Poproast podcast, George. It's a nice happy note to start the year on. How are we doing?
I'm fucking tired, you prick!
That sums up. Yeah, that's how we feel. That is how we feel in the new year. Tell you what, I thought it's a fun thing. Thought I'd cheer myself up. And it's like new year. It's like the finances are not as dire as I thought they would be. You know, moving just before New Year and then Christmas and all that stuff. It's like I held a bit too much back. You know, I didn't really buy myself anything for Christmas. And I was like, I remember about a month ago, I was in a local secondhand shop and they had a left-handed electric guitar in there.
Oh.
And I was like, there's no way that's still going to be in there. You know, for anyone who doesn't know, I've been playing like acoustic guitar for like 10 years because all my electric guitars were broken. I just didn't get around or didn't have the funds to fix them. And then I see this guitar and it is the same guitar as the first guitar that I had when I started playing a long time ago, that I won't even say how long ago that was. And I was like, I wonder if that's still in there. It's like, oh, no, it's Christmas. Somebody probably bought it for somebody. There's no way. So I had a little wander down, George. Not only was it still in there, but they had two other left-handed guitars in there as well.
What?
Like, there's like four in the shop. It's a cash converter shop, if you're wondering. If you're in the UK, you know cash converters.
Miraculous. Even more miraculous.
I know, right? I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm doing this. I'm buying the Yamaha. I was like, and you know what the guy says to me?
What?
So it turns out the guy that's working in there is a guitar player, and he does like fixing and teaching on the side or whatever, you know, this and that. So he goes, I said, I will have the Yamaha, mate. I was like, I'm doing the Yamaha, please and thank you, wrap it up kind of thing. And he's like, you do know that's left-handed, don't you?
Classic.
Mate, I'm like, yeah, I know it's left-handed, don't worry. I am also left-handed and we recognize our own, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's like a magnetism, you know, like where you've got like the two pluses and they resonate or whatever. Like, I was like, should I be offended by that? I was like, what people? What is it? What's that about? Like, yeah, I know what I'm buying. I wouldn't just go if I didn't know anything about guitars. I'd never played a guitar. I wouldn't just walk in. Probably has happened.
And been like, hang on a minute.
This isn't. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's probably happened more often with left-handed people who haven't thought that there was a left-handed guitar and they just went and bought a right-handed guitar and then they get it home. Yeah, if it's your first guitar, because maybe if you don't spend like your whole childhood like playing an air guitar, you're not even quite sure which way, you know, kind of
you wouldn't know
it's going to land, right? You might not have a sense of that. So I get it, but also I was like, man, that sounds just so fucking patronizing. I do not need that at all, really. And I was like, right, so I bought the guitar. I bought the cheaper guitar because I don't have an amp, so I'm like, I'm going to need an amp. The only ones they have in the cash converters are like massive, right? And I was like, I would like to think that maybe, you know, I could have like a live, you know, like show worthy kind of amp, like, and that might be something that I could need and use down the line once I've been playing again for a little bit, obviously. But I was like, I'm not doing that. I can't really justify doing that right now. It's like if they had just like a cheap, you know, like little like 30-40 pound practice amp like what I had when I was growing up would be great. But they haven't got it. So it's like, oh, okay, fine. I'll go in the guitar shop around the corner. So I go in the guitar shop around the corner, which I might have mentioned this on the show once or twice before, but guitar shops and comic book shops are just the most inhospitable places on the planet Earth. But they're just, the people are so cold. They're so fucking rude and elitist. Like, they're just the worst places in the world. Anyway, so I'm like, right, I'm going in there. I don't really want to, but I also don't really want to go home and play my new guitar just like ringing unplugged. Unplugged in the desert kind of thing. Just like, right, I'll have a look in there. And it's like, oh, what amps you got? I was like, I just bought this guitar. I was like, I haven't played guitar for a while. I just bought this guitar. I want to get an amp. Do you know what the first thing he said to me was? He said, you do know that guitar is left-handed, right? I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I was like, yes, I've just bought a guitar, but I haven't just started playing guitar. I'm just getting back into like playing electric guitar. Like, I'm fucking boiling at this point. I'm like, mate, I'm gonna fucking strangle one of these fucks. Like, so anyway, I was like, what kind of amps you got? And he's like, he's got this like practice amp, but they're not 30-40 quid anymore, George.
Oh no.
So he's like, this is like 90 quid, right? I'm like, oh, so I don't really want to spend 90 quid on a practice amp when I'm probably going to come back in like the next couple of months and spend like £200 and get like a proper amp. You know what I mean? It just feels like too much of a interim, like unnecessary spend. I was like, if I have to play just unplugged for a week or month or whatever, then I just swallow it. And it's like, oh, hang on, we've got these like mini Bluetooth amp things.
Oh, cool.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Company called Black Star, I think.
Yeah, they're good amps.
Right, and I was like, how much is that? And he's like, oh, it's 80 quid. It's like, oh, I was like, really? For that tiny little thing? And he's like, oh, I tell you what, we do I was like, what does the Bluetooth do? I was like, what do I need Bluetooth on it? He's like, oh, well, if you want to sync up a backing track or, you know, whatever. It's like, well, I'll just put headphones on and then have like, why do I need Bluetooth for that? Like, I'm thinking like in my old school mentality, like, I don't need Bluetooth to play guitar. Like, what the fuck is that all about? And it's like, it's fine. We do a non-Bluetooth one and that's 65 quid. I'm like, all right, fine. Ring me up. I'll do the fucking little fucking, there it is. Fucking the size of it, that's tiny, mate. I could fucking eat this. Right, 65 quid. I get it home. I unpack it. I'm plugging my guitar in. You know, what do you think happens, George? You can probably tell me what happens at this point.
I don't know. Multitude of things.
I'll cut it short.
Did you leave work?
No, there's no power. It doesn't come with a power cable, right?
Fuck. What does it use? A normal kettle lead?
No, like it uses like a like LEDC, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever. And I've got a couple of random little plugs floating around. None of them fit. But I was like, I open it up.
Stuff like that. Because
you don't want to
easily blow things if it's
exactly. I opened it up. There's it takes batteries. Not only does it take batteries, but there's all the batteries that it needs inside it, but they've probably been sitting inside it. They don't for so long, they don't work. By this point, it's 20 to 5. The guitar shop shuts at like 5:30, but it's a guitar shop. They're probably going to shut earlier on a weeknight, you know, when they're not busy. It's usually, I've been in that situation many times. So I'm like, oh, what do I do? It's like, fine, coat back on, fucking bowl it back down to the the guitar shop, lights are off. I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. Right. And then he comes to the window. He's like, oh, you can still come in. So I'm like, oh, sweet. I go in. I was like, mate, please tell me you sell the guitar, the power cable for this. And it was like, oh, it does come with batteries. I was like, and take batteries. I was like, yeah, I know, but
I don't want to be keeping.
There's batteries in it. I don't want to keep. They're dead, which is fine. Whatever. I'm not going to moan about that. I get it. I said I don't want. If I buy batteries now, I'm never going to buy the cable, and I'm just going to be buying fucking batteries for the next 2 months. You know that I don't need. It's like, oh, but you can just use batteries. You're fine. I was like, mate, do you do the cable or not? Like he was beating me around it. Do you know what I mean? Like he didn't want to give it up. I was like, do you sell the cable or not? Because if he doesn't, I want to return this thing. I'm fed up with it at this point. I've had enough. He was like, let me have a look. So he goes rummaging around. He comes back with the cable. Right. He rings it up. He doesn't say anything. Just puts it on the desk. Rings it up and goes, 30 quid. I'm like, 30 quid for a power cable?
Fucking hell. You might as well just got the Bluetooth one as well.
Well, that, to be fair, that probably wouldn't have come with a power cable, and then it would have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But then, I'm like, mate, whatever. While I'm doing this, by the way, because they've turned the lights back on to let me in, other people have started coming in the shop again. So I'm already thinking like, all right, I'll spend 30 quid on the power cable. I've just added half an hour to your day, so I'll take that trade off. That's fine. So I buy the cable. I'm walking home. I get about 5 minutes down the road from the shop, and I'm like, 65 quid. Plus 35, well, plus 30 for the cable. I might as well have just bought the fucking amp for 90 quid.
Yeah.
I've now spent £5 more, and I've got this for £5 more than what I could have bought something that would have been twice the size of this and probably had an inbuilt power cable.
Oh, fucking hell.
So that's Happy New Year, George. That's fine. I'm playing guitar again. I'm enjoying it, but we're not here to talk about that. But that was my story.
30 minutes of that, but that was worth it for me. I should probably preface that we're both left-handed and both play left-handed.
We are both left-handed guitar, which is, you know what? We might not be the top podcast or the top YouTube show ever, but we might be one of the only ones with 2 left-handed guitar playing people. That's pretty rare. Average is 1 in 9 of left-handed people. Divide that by how many guitar players. We're slim pickings out here, guys. You got the 2 best left-handed guitar playing, movie news talking people, and we are back on track. There we go. So first topic, thinking about old things coming back, things that you know and love in different ways. So in light of the Winnie the Pooh debacle of last year, Blood and Honey, he went public. He did something that every character has to do at some point in their life. So write a passage. You got to go public domain. This is what you got to do. You get washed up. Nobody's picking up them things. You're just out there in the fucking wilderness, in the ether, and then student filmmakers think, well, I can get a cheap rise out of this and probably make a little bit of a name for myself and make a horror movie out of this. So we got Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I'm sure that's not the first time it's happened, and it's not the last, because now, as of this year or end of last year, a certain fellow you might know as Mickey, the artist formerly known as Steamboat Willie, went public domain. So this isn't Mickey Mouse himself. This is just Steamboat Willie from that original short, which I'm sure the year is on there somewhere. We don't care, right? I should have had that right at the top of my notes there, and I did not have the year. Anyway, so immediately, as soon, like within like 3 days of Steamboat Willie going public domain, there some company is just like, yeah, we're doing Steamboat Willie horror film. That's what we're doing. 1928, by the way, Steamboat Willie. So yeah, independent horror producer. Again, right in on there. Stephen Lamorte is directing. Is as yet untitled. If anyone has suggestions or ideas for what like the punny, gory name could be for Steamboat Willie, get them in there in the comments section. Click a like while you're down there rummaging around. That's fine. But George, are you ready for this? Do you want this? Did you see Blood and Honey? And do you think this is a trend that we're going to see a lot more of now that more and more things are going to start coming this way?
Well, I didn't see Blood and Honey. I thought, I'll get round to it. And to be honest, I'm more excited for this. But
this, I think, lends itself much more. Yeah, absolutely. With the voice, you know, I mean, Winnie the Pooh has like a funny voice as well, but Steamboat Willie, like, I can already like hear those slasher one-liners, you know, time to catch your guts, you know, whatever, like, we're getting right up in there. And I was also thinking about, because, you're getting it. A lot of people say, no, it's just cheap. It's just lowbrow. It's like, it's fine. But, you know, if some young filmmakers can kind of just, you know, not have to worry about the pressures of like crafting this like crazy, mind-bending original thing, and they can just focus on like the craft and learn their, you know, get their stripes and learn about like basic filmmaking, and maybe there's something fun for like stoners to watch, you know, in the process. I don't see the harm in this kind of thing.
Stoner to watch this sort of thing. But
well, no, but you know what I mean, like college kids, or just like, you know, whatever. Like, also, I think this stuff is fine. It's not hurting anyone. Maybe Disney might try. I guarantee you, Disney have got lawyers. Like, if we can find a way to stop this, we will.
It says here in the article, doesn't it, about how Lamorte has got a legal team. It says, we are doing our due diligence to make sure there's no question or confusion of what we're up to. This is our version of a public domain character as a scary thrill ride with heart and humor based on this character that everybody knows. And it said that they've, you know,
you've got to be so careful
on any toes. But I didn't realize this guy made the mean one. I haven't seen that either,
that's the Grinch one, right?
The Grinch. Yeah,
I heard that was fun. I didn't see it either.
No.
I actually know somebody who's like terrified of the Grinch. Like, this is like a 25-year-old man just terrified of the Grinch, just can't, like, not even the cartoon, just will not do it at all. But then on the other end of the spectrum, there seems to be a rise in numbers of, you know, your fine fair ladies out there who are pretty into the Grinch. So, you know, that movie that came out like that Jim Carrey movie from like 25 years ago has just splintered society off in two completely different directions. Absolutely the opposite. So a couple of other I was looking at the list here of other things that are in public domain, and you know, some of this stuff we haven't really, I think there's some untapped stuff here. King Arthur is public domain. You know, what about like a spooky King Arthur? You know, maybe I'm like a zombie King Arthur.
Pretty interesting stories around that time period that you could, you know, mold into.
Absolutely. I would be down for a medieval time period like zombie flick, or you know, like a magical kind of possession, supernatural kind of thing. Absolutely. Headless Horseman, he's already a horror character. You don't even have to do anything. It's already there. Robin Hood, You know, like we could do like a Robin Graves or something, whatever, like, you know, some kind of punny, what have you. Isn't that, that's a metal band dude, isn't it? There's a dude in a metal band called Robin Graves, if I remember correctly.
Misfits.
No, I'm sure there's a Robin Graves. It might be like an Avenged Sevenfold dude. Or yeah, I was going to say it's either Avenged Sevenfold or a Murder Dolls kind of situation. It might be one of those two. Felix the Cat wasn't in Murder Dolls, but he is public domain. Anyway, if you've got suggestions, public domain, what's next on the docket, predict, let us know, and we'll come back and have a look at those and see. And we'll just steal your ideas because we don't care. So moving on from that. Yeah, I don't think there's any release date or anything really. They're just like, we are snapping this up, we are doing this. And I bet he's got a team of lawyers, and I bet he's got some bulletproof glass as well for those fucking Disney snipers will come out and fuck you up. If they can find any thread that they can get you with to stop you from doing that thing, they will do it, because they don't have the same sense of humor about that kind of shit that everyone else does.
No, that's all.
Yeah, talking about people without a sense of humor, those screen producers, you know, they won't let you joke. They won't even let you talk about real world politics and, you know, serious, you know, global issues. They will not let you do any of it. And as we talked about on our last episode, Melissa Barrera, am I saying that correctly, was let go from Scream 7 due to some tweets talking about the you know, the issues, or the I would say issues. I say that's not even doing it justice. The insane situation, you know, the unfortunate, terrible shit that's going on. The Palestinians and the Hamas and whatever. I'm sure I said this last time. I don't know anything about the political landscape of that situation. All I want to be saying is, let's just stop fucking killing each other, man. And
how about that?
How about that? Like, it doesn't matter what your cause is, where your land is, where your religion is. Just don't kill people. Figure it out. Just find another way to figure it out. I don't know what that way is, but I'm not a fucking global leader paid insane amounts of, you know, money and power to figure that shit out. Just anyway, Melissa Barrera had a similar kind of thing. I mean, she described it as genocide and, you know, the brutal killings of innocent Palestinians. You know, she had some tweets. She had some stuff to say about it. We're not here to say she was right or wrong. We're just here to say that those screen producers, well, they screamed. They did not like this. They did not want to be hearing this. They don't, which I get it, because, you know, whatever the right or wrong of the situation is, if you're a big corporation, you don't really want to be seen to be taking a stance one way or the other.
No.
However, yeah, you don't have to take a stance, but also, you know, you've also got to acknowledge that, like, you're going to have thousands of people working for you, and they're all going to have stances, and they've got lives outside of work. They're going to have opinions. So do I think it was bullshit that they let her go? Yes. And then not long after that, I mean, but they had their right. They have their rights to. She has the right to say what she thinks. They have the right to react how they want to react, right? Like it or not. And then not long after that, Jenna Ortega was said scheduling conflicts. I can't do this movie anymore. Some people are speculating, is she in solidarity?
This article we don't know. Says otherwise. It says that she apparently left before, but I don't know how much.
Yeah, it also said that. Yeah, she also said that it was a scheduling conflict, but about 3 days ago she signed on to film another movie. So Yeah, and those scheduling things are the craziest like things to work out for all of this stuff. Like she would have had that stuff worked out so far,
You'd think so.
so far in advance. I mean, and you could say, oh, the strikes would have thrown off the shooting schedules and that would have affected it. But I don't know. We could speculate all day long. The point of the matter is,
the headline here.
The headline here is now director Christopher Landon is walking away. Basically, I mean, he did the last movie. I haven't seen the last movie. From what I understand, these Jenny Ortega and Melissa Barrera are like the two of the main characters, and it's very much poised for the franchise to continue with those two characters, right?
Yeah. So.
And he's saying that, like, I mean, he's like, well, we're working on this movie, we're writing it, we're developing it, I'm storyboarding, we're doing all of this stuff. These are my two main characters. Oh, no, they're not. Now you've got no two main characters. Now the production company's like, we're bringing on somebody to write a new version of the script because we haven't got those actresses, those characters anymore. It's like, well, this isn't really anything like what I signed on to do, basically.
Yeah.
So I think this was expected. I think a lot of people kind of speculated that he might walk away from this, after all this other stuff happened. I know nothing about the Scream franchise, George. What do they do from here? Where do they go?
Reboot. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what people are saying. Did they ever reboot? I mean, they've not rebooted, have they? They've because it's still all in the same universe, right? Up until this point.
Yeah. I mean, they've. I can't think of her name. Sydney.
Oh, she doesn't want to come back. Damn it. Oh, what's her name? I don't want to Google it.
What? No. Fuck's sake.
Oh my God. Nev Campbell. There we go. Did not Google it, everyone. I didn't Google it. Nev Campbell.
I did just say it, but then I was like, no, it's not Nev Campbell. No, it's not Nev Campbell. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no.
It's Nev Campbell. Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, the OG crew,
Yeah.
So do they just grab some other characters that are in the same and they just go off with some other characters that are connected? Or do you literally just reboot? You start again with a new actress playing a new Sydney, and you literally go from the beginning and you build up a whole new universe? Or do you think there's a way to sidestep around this?
I don't know. They'll find another way to milk that cash cow somehow, So
yeah, of course they will. Because they're not massive money makers, but also they don't cost that much, and it's a reliable franchise if you can keep, pumping them out. Yeah.
I did like the comments of Christopher Landon saying, he was thrilled to be or poised to be a part of, Wes Craven's legacy.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah, because again, it sounds like the last one does leave off a bit of a cliffhanger. So he obviously had a plan that was you're saying, he was hopefully gonna honor and play off of the legacy of Craven and this franchise. So it's a shame. It seems from this article, we're pulling that off a comic book movie. By the way, we get a lot of our news from here because they do it all. It's not just the comic books; it's the horror, it's the sci-fi. We love it all. It's always been my go-to. Love them to death over there. Don't look at the comments too much though, as with any place. But anyway, so it's from his quotes and stuff in this article here. It sounds like he does give a shit, or he did give a shit, and those are rare. It's so rare to get not only like a movie funded and made, but also with somebody that knows what they're doing and cares about it. Like, there's so many moving pieces that have to come together, and then you get them all together, and then it's, you know, real world events, unpredictable factors with your cast, and, you know, all of that kind of stuff, and then it just the whole house of cards just fell apart completely, which is a shame, because it seemed like this franchise was really starting to build up momentum again, you know?
Yeah, kind of.
After, like, from what I understand, like 3, 4, 5, not really where people wanted it to be, and it kind of seemed like they were starting to kind of get back onto a bit of a roll here with 6 and 7, and oh well. That you come here for the fucking hottest takes of over here on the Poproast podcast. Do like and subscribe, please, or don't. I don't mind, really. I've got no personal investment in it.
Not going to change very much to what we're doing.
You know, like if I was the guy that like started the channel, then maybe I'd be like really sweating, like, why have we only got 19, and when are we going to get to 20?
What do you mean you
but
weren't?
I'm not worried about that. But I wasn't worried about that, not at all.
You act like this wasn't all your idea.
It wasn't. Mate, I'm so glad there's somebody else to sink in the ship. You know, me, you, and the 19 other dickheads all going down together in harmony in the new year. Hopefully going down also like our waistlines. Am I right, everybody? New Year's resolutions. What's up? Anyway, I had a good segue a minute ago, and I've lost it now. Speaking of something that it has something in common with the last thing that we were speaking of. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Which is what's going to be left of America if this civil war happens. All right, we're talking about civil war. Alex Garland, new movie trailer. Civil War. Did you get a chance to watch this trailer, George?
No, I didn't. I'm afraid.
You didn't watch this trailer. So Alex Garland, who wrote Dread, he directed Ex Machina. He did the horror movie Men. I think was that from last year or the year before.
It's in Dread. I don't like Dread.
Yeah, this dude is hot. I don't want to say up and coming anymore. He's hot and he's up. He's already up. He's in there.
Sorry, I got. Am I mistaking the horror film Dread for Judge Dredd?
Yeah, the Judge Dredd, the 2013 Judge Dredd.
Sorry, I didn't care for that.
DREDD, not DREAD. Double D, twice the action, twice the size for you guys. So anyway.
Need a drink.
Yeah, I need one after that. I'll tell you what, we all need one after that. But
okay, so January after that.
Yeah, this is it, mate. If that doesn't make you go dry, nothing will. And that's a double entendre, you know. But so yeah, Alex Garland, new movie coming out. Trailer dropped about close to a week ago now, I think. It's called Civil War. Heard a lot of chatter online about this trailer. People going, "Oh, that's a bit, doesn't seem that good," or "It seems a bit like obvious and on the nose." There's a reason this trailer is obvious on the nose, because we are not that, or I say we, but the world or society doesn't seem like it's that far away from a new civil war in America, the North versus the South, or I think it's a bit more
left versus right.
Diverted than that. It's not north-south necessarily, but like certain states and certain other states are not agreeing. It's a left-right thing. It's just a country at war with itself. And it's not like in the future, you know, when we're all lasering each other, or, you know, we're tracking each other with like super advanced event. Like, this is set from what it looks like, it's like pretty much like modern day. There's no like crazy tech or robots. It's literally like, what would it look like if, like, you know, a modern like first world country was at war with itself like this. And how would that be? You've got Kirsten Dunst is in this trailer as a reporter. Her real life husband Jesse Plemons is in this as like a military guy. Somebody else fun was in this trailer as well that I hadn't seen for a while. The name escapes me. But this looks fun, man. And I think the reason people like bitching about this, basically, that's what they were doing. They were bitching about this is because this is as real as sci-fi can get. Like, no tech, no future, not really any, one of like the core things of a science fiction thing is like you put that element of like the science fiction, you put the fiction into like the real world, right? And then you use that to exacerbate or talk about, something that's going on in our world. This is just in our world. Like, this is as close to the bone, I think, as you're going to get. And I think this looks good. This looks like District 9. It's kind of got a bit of that flavor, a little bit like The Creator, like Children of Men, bit of The Purge. Nick Offerman is the other person that is in this trailer. He's playing the president of the United States. I think it got a little bit on the nose at the end of this trailer where he starts reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, and they're just doing the voiceover of that, of him doing that over like, planes and bombs dropping. And it's a little bit obvious, but there's a reason it's obvious, and it's not a good reason. And I think this is a valid reason to make this. I'm looking forward to it. So,
yeah, modern day, war movie, contemporary war movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it says that the trailer's stirred up a bit of controversy, but questioning the need for this particular movie right now when there's already so much real political tension in the United States. So I'm like, well,
they just answered their own fucking question.
Like, exactly.
What do we need this movie for? The world's in turmoil. It's almost like we're about to start a civil war. Exactly. So fucking show you that shit, because you're fucking right round the corner from it. You're literally just talking to your friend, and then you're going to turn around and bang, there's a lamppost of civil war and it's in your face. Like, it's sensitive times. We just talked about other issues. It doesn't take much for these other places to just start fucking murdering each other. So watch the movie, everyone. Enjoy the movie and don't murder anyone about it. You know what I mean? Just take the message that is obviously intended. This is not intended to be like I haven't seen it yet, but I don't imagine this is intended to be like an incendiary, this isn't a firework at the birthday party. Do you know what I mean? This is supposed to be something else. So this is supposed to be birthday cake that brings everyone together. We can all share this experience and hopefully not kill each other after the cake. Fuck. Moving on.
Oh, give me a sec.
Should we have a quick commercial break there, George, after that?
Might have to.
All right, we're going to have a quick little break. We're going to come back. We've got one more trailer to talk about. Then we're getting into Rebel fucking Moon, the latest from Zack Snyder on Netflix. I'm excited to talk about that. One moment. We'll be with you in a minute.
It's not showing the thing, and there it is. And you can't. It doesn't even fucking matter, does it?
What is that? Oh.
But that is the first Omen thing. I was just fucking. There we go. Whatever.
You just look at old load of orange shit.
Yeah. There we go.
It's fine. That's a bad omen. We are back, everyone. After that quick little break, we had a nice image queued up for the background. It's blown it up beyond all astronomical proportions, and you can't see.
Fuck off.
You can't see what it is. I will not fuck off, George. I will set up this trailer, and I'm going to tell everyone what it is, because you can't tell from the fucking background image. So I've got to tell people what the trailer is, so I can't fuck off. We are talking about, is it called The First Omen?
Yeah, the first Omen.
The first Omen, everybody, if you haven't had enough prequels and legacy spin-offs of classic horror franchises, we are getting not the Omen, not the last Omen, or whatever that other one was called. There was one a few years ago. Was it called The Last Omen or something? That wasn't Omen related. It just had Omen in the title. Fact check me on that. I don't remember the first Omen. So presumably this is set before the original Omen, even though people have cell phones.
Yeah,
which is fine, you know, because probably the first bad Omen is probably that the cell phones run out of signal, right? So it's probably helpful. Anyway, this looked like it could be the best religious. Looks like it could be one of the better religious horror movies that we're going to see, but based on last year's. But based on the bar, it's a low bar. It's a very low bar. I'll touch on more of that, how low that bar went later on when we talk about our sort of highlights and a couple of lowlights of the year later on there. But this looks better than a Nun 2. But that's not saying much.
No.
But you know, there's some cool cinematography going on. It doesn't show you that much.
No, it's pretty vague.
So yeah, so we're probably going to end up seeing this because we'll talk about it. You know, the original Omen is a classic. Love that shit. Richard Donner, Gregory Peck, pull it down my neck every time. If I see that fucking thing on TV, and it's not a fun watch, but if I see that shit on TV, it's like Titanic, which I'm sure I've said about before. It's like if I see this thing on TV, doesn't matter where it is in the movie, I'm in. Absolutely locked in, which could make it all the more of a crushing, brutal disappointment when this just turns out to be just as shit as the other ones. But maybe, George, maybe this is good. It looks good. It looks well made. Bill Nighy is in this as a creepy priest.
Ralph.
That seems that's fine. Who's that?
Ralph Ineson, or it's Ineson.
I think is it Ralph Inez? It might be Ralph Inez. Is that how they say it? The kids are saying it, Inez.
No idea, man.
And I don't know if it was her or not. It looked like Eva Green, but I don't think it was Eva Green. But maybe it was Eva Green. Like, what is she doing at the moment? But yeah, again, I liked the look of it and the feel of it. It just didn't really have anything that. There wasn't really a hook to this trailer that, like, why does this stand out from the other ones? But then on the other hand, I'm glad that they didn't show too much. So I guess you can't have it both ways, mate. That's it.
But it's out on. It's premiere on the 5th of April.
5th of April. Yeah, I thought it might have been April for some reason. I had that in my head. I knew it wasn't going to be like a September, October release. Oh, of course, yeah, it's Easter. Now, I guess that's about as good as you're going to get for a release date for this. They're never going to, in our lifetime, George, they're never, ever going to have that 666 like marketing, you know, for the other remake in 2006. That was, it's a shame that movie, I think it sucked. I don't remember seeing it. But what a shame. What a waste of a marketing campaign, because that shit was just there for the taking. Now we just got to fucking eat it with some chocolate eggs. But anyway, moving on, George.
Moving on.
Moving on. You know what kind of looks like an egg? A big moon. A rebel moon. Fucking segues are back better than ever, baby. And there it is.
Yeah, we can't see it.
Rebel Moon. We got some of the faces at the bottom. We got some serious eyes at the top there. You got some of the font, but you don't need it all, because you've got me telling you that we are talking about Rebel Moon on the Poproast podcast. Now, George, you watched this a bit more recently than I did, maybe.
Finished it earlier.
I mean, spoiler alert, I did watch some of it again today as well to just refresh it in my mind. But for all intents and purposes, you didn't really know that much about this other than you just
told me.
Yeah, you just know it's Zack Snyder who did a fairly competent Dawn of the Dead remake. You don't love a 300, but you know, it's fun. Yeah. And other than that, you didn't know what to expect going into this. So what were your thoughts going into this? Getting it queued up.
Did you not? I'm pretty sure you told me his plan was he wanted to make a Star Wars film, right?
Yes, I can talk a bit more about this later, but yes, he did. The genesis of this movie kind of started out as a pitch to Star Wars just after Disney bought Star Wars. I believe they had like a load of like directors that kind of all went through and pitched various things that could happen with the Star Wars. Obviously, we got what we got. Don't talk about that. But yeah, Snyder was one of the guys that went in with an idea for a Star Wars movie. They were like, nah, that's not really where we want to go. He sat on the idea. It's a bit dark, Zack Snyder. You know, it's a bit Zack Snyder. And he sat on it. I didn't say it. Mate, you are so. If you had a Twitter right now, it would be burning up. But go on, you're getting into this. Zack Snyder.
Give you a little synopsis.
He's doing a Star Wars, but it's not Star Wars. You don't like Star Wars. Let's hear it.
I didn't say I don't like Star Wars.
Well, you don't love Star Wars.
I love.
You love the Star Wars that you love, but you just don't care about any of the rest of.
Kept up.
Yeah.
Completely. So we've got a space opera set in a fictional galaxy ruled by imperialistic Motherworld, whose military, the Imperium, threatens a farming colony on the moon of Velt. Cora, played by Sophia Boutella, former Imperial soldier, ventures on a quest to recruit warriors across the galaxy to make a stand against the Imperium before they return to Velt. So
do you think they should have put it in the synopsis that she was a former?
Maybe not. But
because
it's all revealed.
Because it's a little bit of a spoiler, but but a little bit of a spoiler. But also, I think it's fairly obvious, kind of when this movie starts out, that you're like, okay, there's something going on with this character. She's got more going on than we know. But you're going into this movie. We're opening up beautiful, glowing orange sunsets, like what you got behind me right here. She's on a farm. You know, much like maybe some other space characters have started out on a farm, doing mundane shit, looking up at the sky.
Luke Skywalker.
I didn't say it. I wasn't saying it. Right.
I mean, not the same angle, of course. Quite a different angle, actually. But when it's Sophia Boutella, you're going to film her from different angles. I tell you that much. And she looks great. But go on, we're getting into this. What are you kind of like overall thoughts starting this up when it starts? Initially, I was like, yeah, but yeah, you got this the Imperium led by this, Atticus Noble was Ed Skrein. I recognized him immediately from Deadpool.
That's kind of where a lot of people know him from.
Him and the Imperium arrive on the Blackwater moon of Velt on the hunt for this band of rebels.
This reminds you of anything? This opening scene? Did it remind you of maybe an opening scene from another movie?
Maybe.
No? All right. I'm just going to say it. This opening scene is Inglourious Bastards, okay? It's Inglourious Bastards, right?
Yeah, and he's literally like in the fascist fucking attire. He's got the what do they call those hats? There's a name for that hat. Oh,
don't know what they call the hats.
It's cap.
Star Wars was an allegory for fascism. This, if there's a word above allegory, but not like between allegory and just being the thing, this is in between there. Like there is no subtlety here whatsoever.
No.
You know what you're getting in for. You see all these these peaceful villagers, they're farming. I don't know. It's a little bit on the nose, I think, a little bit of a cliche. They've always kind of got to be this like Irish, Celtic. They're always potato farming or wheat farming. You know, they couldn't just be like, you know, you could have had them farming for like, you know, like mining for like alien crystals or something. You know what I mean? To like, and I don't know if I like that or not, because as it plays into the scene and we're getting into this, I was like, I almost forgot that I was watching like a science fiction movie. I got so like wrapped up in just like experiencing the culture and like learning the dynamics between these people, you know, before the ship shows up. And it's not until the you see that ginormous fucking, you know, warship come through the fucking atmosphere, you know, oh fuck yeah, this isn't like, you know, this isn't fucking fried green tomatoes. Yeah, this is like real shit. Like, they're not just fucking having a lovely little fucking ale and a fucking chinwag. Like, they are on the alien moon of Velt or whatever, which is great. But yeah, instantly the dude comes in. You're like, Ed Screen is chewing up the scenery. He's chewing up the scenery. He's not really doing anything.
Just waiting for him to do something evil, right?
You know it's going to happen. You know it's either the main dude or the other dude. You know, like he's grilling them up, he's softening them up. He's like, well, what's your yield? How does it work around here? You know, soil looks good, your people look good, but you're saying that you don't. You know, we want you to come on board and serve us to help us propagate our war throughout the galaxy. And they're like, no, we don't want to do any of this. Sophie Butella, by the way.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Where she goes, they're like, what are they going to take? And you knew what she's going to say. They're going to take everything. She's very dramatic. There's, I don't know if you felt this, George, in this movie. There's a very kind of specific kind of cadence and rhythm to the dialogue. That it took me a little while. It's a little heavy, right? It took me a little while to kind of like settle into like the vibe and what they were kind of going for. It was for the first 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm cringing. I'm like, I don't know if I like how they're doing this. But I think I got into it. I got into the world. I liked the simplicity of like the political structure. You know, this does look like Dune, but I think Dune is way too overcomplicated and like convoluted and dense, and I think it gets a little bit up its own arsehole. And I think I like that this was more just simple, black and white. Those are the bad guys. These are the good guys. Villagers, science, technology, empire, whatever. And now we're in the shit. We're in the shit. These fuckers are not going to leave us alone.
I gotta say,
go on.
Sorry, yeah, just the way that interaction, you know, unfolds, and like you got the leader of the village or whatever that said, you know, this Atticus Noble offers to buy the village surplus of grain, and he's like, refuses the offer, says that we've only just got enough to survive on, and then this guy pipes up, the fucking farmer, Gunner.
I hate this fucking dude straight away.
It's the typical like scenario where you're just like, why would you even like pipe up when he says, oh no, we have a surplus of grain, we might have some to spare, and he's like, oh right, so you know, this contradictory revelation angers you know Noble, and he's like, you know, just lays a smack down on the village leader or whatever. And
you knew it was coming because he's facing one dude with the stick, right?
Yeah.
You know he's not gonna hit the dude that he's talking to. He's gonna hit the other guy. That is one of like 100 of those kind of little tropes that are like in this that you just know, like you kind of just have a general sense of where it's going. What I did like, because straight away you hate that guy. You're like, oh, he's the sniveling second in command who wants to like bend over to the oppressors, and he's going to contradict our guy because he just wants to be in charge and he wants the power.
Yeah.
But as the movie progresses, you're like, no, this dude, he doesn't like that he's contradicting the leader. He's doing it because he genuinely thinks that that's like the best thing for the people. And they're being, yeah, he's going for that vibe, and they're just like, look, we're just going to play along, just be nice, and we'll all get along. And Sophie Butella's like, nah, you lot are fucking idiots. She's standing around watching them have their little town hall meeting, and she's literally just like shaking her head. She's like rolling her eyes. She's like, they don't, these are little children. They do not know what they're dealing with. And so, yeah, they occupy. They're like, you know, and you've got all the classic, another trope. You've got the rapey soldier. You've got the lunatic psychopath soldier, who starts trying to antagonize everyone, shoots up the droid. The droid then having, I love the flat pack, like the suitcase droids. You just like, just unload them and they just start working.
Mechanical knights.
Mechanical, yeah. And like, and again, you know where that whole plot is going. As soon as he shoots him up, you're like, one of these villagers is going to be nice to the droid. The droid's going to question its programming. I don't know, but you see all of the things are just falling into place, right? Like as it goes off, and it's not doing anything really off the beaten track, but
not really. But
I liked the simplicity. If you know what this movie was like to me, I thought this was like a late 70s, early 80s, like pulpy fantasy kind of movie. You know what I mean? Like a Fire and Ice or a Sinbad or something like that. But it's one of those movies, but just with like a modern overlay.
Yeah.
This to me just played like a classic fantasy adventure. You know, obviously it's stealing like Kurosawa. You know, this is Seven Samurai and Hidden Fortress and all of that other stuff. Like this is all of that samurai, you know, very heavily homaging. A lot of people are saying ripped off. But I don't see how that's any different or any less okay than like the way like Tarantino, like why is it okay for Tarantino to do it and everyone calls it like fucking art, but then because it's Zack Snyder that does it, and I'm not saying that this is on a Tarantino level, I'm just saying that I think the reviews were a little bit too fucking savage on this. And yes, but everyone just saying, oh well, he's just ripped off 20 other movies. Like, well, most movies are that now. It's just different. It's just the same stuff that we've seen repackaged in different ways. You know, it's like how you went from fucking heavy metal to sampling. You know, it's the same kind of, and I think there's a place for this, and I think it is very safe and basic. But I really enjoyed being in this world. I really just liked going along for the journey, picking up the characters, even though it was a little bit kind of after like the third or fourth character, you're like, okay, this is kind of just what we're doing. It's a bit video gamey.
When it gets to them, like, you know, going to recruit the warriors or whatever, and then you find Charlie humming with his bad like Irish accent
in the cantina.
Yeah, exactly. You know where I was going.
He's Han Solo. Like,
yeah. There you go. But yeah. When it gets past that point, I was like, okay, right, you know, I was, you know, aboard, along for the ride. There were some pretty interesting, like, you know, alien type characters, like the humanoid. This blew my mind as well, by the way, because I hadn't heard or seen her in anything for years. You know, the character Hamada, the spider lady. Do you know who that was?
Is it Jenna Malone?
Yeah, I was like, Richard Ross from Donnie Darko. I was like, wow.
Oh fuck yeah, she's in.
Yeah.
I don't even think of her from that at all. I didn't even realise. She's pretty friendly with Zack Snyder. She's been in like 3 or 4 of his movies.
She's in Hunger Games.
Yeah, she's great. My favourite thing of hers. She was great.
She's about to kill the fucking child.
Yeah, she doesn't give a fuck, mate. Why they're letting that happen? Because she's just out there in like some sort of like fucking diner car park or whatever. Like she just lives there, and they're just like, yeah, it's just that, you know, it's just that giant alien spider lady that keeps like stealing babies. You know, what you're gonna do? And it's like, and as soon as they show up there, the samurai lady with the laser katanas or whatever, you know, you want to call her, she's just already on her way there. It's like, and every planet they get to for the new character, they just get there like the perfect point to get there. She's just like, oh yeah, I'm the person you're looking for. Oh, I'm just on my way to do a thing where I can show you what I'm good at, so then you can recruit me. That's so funny that you were here when I was just about to go kill the spider lady, who has apparently been terrorizing us for a while, and I apparently could have just turned up here and killed her at any time because it's not that hard, apparently. You know, I mean, it's a fight, but it's still, you know, it's 5 minutes. Like,
they all get on it, but
I was just here. I was just about to do it. Oh, that's so funny. Let's go. Come along. You can watch me cut the spider eggs out of a fucking stomach or whatever.
But yeah, there's some interesting characters there and fun like character design. Did you pick up on the brother and sister? Or is it Devra? And I can't remember
what are they called? Dark Axe or something? Yeah, Devra and Darren Dark Axe, Blood Axe, Axe Blood, something.
Devra was that's Cleopatra Coleman, who was Miss Divine in Cobweb.
Oh right, I did not pick up on that. No, that's good stuff. Fucking Jaimon Honsu. I don't know if that's how you say his name. He's a little bit. Yeah.
Why does that name sound so familiar? That literally just sounds straight out of Star Wars. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of General Grievous.
I don't know. Maybe Grievous, yeah. Titus, Grievous, whatever. He's a little bit of a cartoon character. I mean, they all are to a certain degree, but I think there's a couple of them.
Go on, sorry.
I was going to say there's a couple of the characters that just draw the short straw of like they're the last characters in, so they just kind of, and it's like when you're getting into literally like the last like hour of the movie and you're still introducing like new main characters of your team, I'm like, it feels like a little bit like a shaft to those characters. Poor Ray Fisher, who's the last dude who gets recruited after Jaimon Honsu. He was in Justice League, which Zack Snyder directed, and he was very vocal about how he got shafted out of a lot of screen time on Justice League. So then Zack Snyder's like, don't worry, Ray, you can come and be on my next movie instead, and then I'll introduce you in the last fucking half an hour. Poor Ray. But I like the character. I like the Native American, the Avatar bit, you know, the Avatar dude riding on the fucking eagle creature, which, by the way, he's like, I'm glad we've just had a bonding moment, him and connecting with the taming the beast, right? And it's like, I'm glad that I've had this bonding, life-changing moment with you and rescued you from your slave owner oppressor. See ya, bye. And then they just leave it. And then it kills the dude anyway, but he didn't know it was going to do that. They just fucking bonded and then he just fucking left it. It's like you take the creature with you. You're about to go and fight a war that everyone has just agreed to really easily. None of them have any involvement in this, and they could have all just not gotten involved and just lived their lives. They didn't. They're all a bit quick, I think, to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot. There's some exposition where it's like, oh, this guy, like with the General Titus character, oh, he's a great general, like warrior, like
Yeah.
There's always like sort of throwaway lines that are meant to obviously be, exposition, but like they don't really lend much to it. You don't. There's no weight to it. But
there's a lot of like exposition, I think, and because it's very dramatic, a lot of it, I think that's why it loses the weight. Because you can smell it when somebody asks another character a question, and it'll be like just a normal everyday question. Be like, oh, so hi, Cora, where are you from? I was born under the cold iron fist of oppression. Like you just, there's that pause. You just know, like she's about to go into a monologue about her fucking history.
I can feel a montage coming along.
It happens like a lot of the characters do it. A lot of the characters do it. She does. Obviously, she's the main character, so she gets like 3 of them, and it's almost like I almost just wanted to laugh the last time because I just knew it was coming.
Here comes another flashback. Yeah.
Here comes another and it's all the really dramatic language, It's just like, oh, that guy, he came down to my planet when I was young and he relished the ecstasy of bloodlust in the battle. And I was just like, you could have just said he was a prick. Like,
I love there's also like that little smidgen of like, oh yeah, they encourage us to find a lover or like a partner when they're in the military or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to show that little bit extra, like she's gone through like, heartache and loss. And not only her whole family was killed, she found love in the military, and then it was all ripped away from her. Like,
here's the thing, right? Because a movie is all about like show me, don't tell me, right? And then you get some directors who kind of who kind of do the cardinal sin of like they do too much of one or the other. Like Kevin Smith, for example, he's all tell me because it's all dialogue, right? And then a lot of like, you got like a silent movie that's all show me or whatever. I don't know if it's a problem with this, but it's a thing with this. It does both so much. It's showing you, it's telling you everything that it's showing you. All the characters speak in that long, drawn out, kind of overly poetic kind of mannerisms that they have, and everyone's and I think after, like I say, I settled into it because after a while I was just like, oh well, this is a new universe, a new thing, a new property. Like this is just how people talk here, But it was very much like everyone kind of just says what they're thinking and how they're feeling and what they're doing. Like everyone kind of just describes everything in great grandiose detail, which I could understand how some people would look at that and just be like, this is dumb. I hate this. Yeah. This is bad.
I had a couple of moments like that, to be honest.
I did early on when they first started talking, and I had to adjust. But after a while, I was just like, okay, everyone talks, because it's not just like 1 or 2 bad actors. It's just everyone talks like it. It's everyone. And I do think it helps it harken back to that pulpy, 70s kind of like fantasy sci-fi tone, just with the visuals of, a modern movie. And it does look fucking great the whole time, pretty much. I think.
No, visually it's quite stunning.
Bit too much slow-mo, but it's Zack Snyder, so that's what you get.
Yeah, especially in like the battles and fight scenes, is just shit ton of Zack Snyder,
Yeah, and you can. And obviously, it was this before this movie even came out. It was already known that like there's going to be a Snyder cut. There's going to be like a director's cut version of this, and you can feel it in the movie. And as much as like I do not think that's a good way to make a movie, also I can't fucking wait to see the R-rated cut of this movie, because there are some moments, there is some really satisfying, or what looks like should be some really satisfying character deaths and some really savage moments. and I can't wait for the fucking R-rated 3-hour version of this. I still liked this one. I think I'm gonna like the extended one more. I would have just released that one. It's on Netflix. Who cares? But they wanted to build up a bit of that Snyder Cut-ism to it or whatever, which I think is a dumb move.
I don't know.
But what are we rating this? Rate it up, George.
I'll go 2.5 moons.
2.5 moons. Oh, that's harsh. I don't know.
Is that harsh?
No, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think 2.5.
It wasn't.
No, I think 2.5 is fair. You didn't sound like you were setting up a 2.5. You sounded more like you were like, well, I suppose 2.5 is in the middle. But
I'll take it back. I'll give it 3 moons. 3 moons.
Oh, 3 moons. I think there's some. I think the action is great. The world that it establishes is all really good. I was going to give this a 3.5. I think if the action wasn't like blow your mind crazy, like new and inventive, but it was good. And I think you could say the same for a lot of the elements of this film. I think if just 1 or 2 of the elements of this film would have just dialed it up a notch, this could have been like a 4 or 5. But alas, we'll see when the fucking director's cut comes out, I guess, won't we? And that's the end of that. And in the spirit of wrapping things up, George, we saw a lot of movies this year or last year.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I saw more movies in the cinema this last year than I did probably any other year in my life.
Yeah. Same here. I didn't see as many as you, but
yeah.
So,
all thanks to the Poproast podcast. Gets me seeing movies. That's what we're here. That's what we're about.
That was the idea. Yeah, that was my goal, to be fair. Like, I don't generally set resolutions, but I remember thinking, I'm going to go out and see more new movies rather than, watching Dawn of the Dead, like
on repeat. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely achieved that. But why is that? 2 seconds. Anyway,
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Top 5s. For 2023?
Yeah, top 5s. Now, obviously, I don't know if we really specified this, but we didn't start the show till late in the year. I saw a lot of movies beginning half of the year, so a couple of those might be in here. 1 or 2 of those we saw together, which I think was like part of the kind of genesis of this whole thing.
Yeah.
But do you want to go first, or me to go first?
You can go first.
All right, so I'm going to do my number 5. Then if I do my 5, then you do your 5, then 4, 4. So on. Yeah.
Back and forth. Yeah.
Okay, back and forth, baby. Okay, so I was surprised. I was deliberating on this right up until we started doing this. I did not know this was going to be on my top 5. And obviously, we didn't see a lot of the Oscar movies and the indie movies and prestigious movies. We're just rating the movies that we saw and we talked about. That's not a definitive anything. There's a lot of better movies out this year that are like independent, like festival films and all that kind of stuff that we'll hopefully get on streaming this year because fuck international release dates. Anyway, number 5. I was surprised to get this on there, but I'm putting Shaw X at number 5, George.
Wow. Okay.
I think this was not my favorite, and I wouldn't say it's like the 5th best film that I saw, but I think in terms of like it added some new deeper dimensions to the Jigsaw character. I think it put itself in the timeline in a way that didn't seem fucking stupid, and it gave you some deeper stuff with the John Kramer character, and then it absolutely delivers on everything that you would want from a Saw film if you're a long-standing fan of the franchise. So I just think on all cylinders, I think this film delivered. So that's why I'm putting that at number 5.
I would put it as an honourable mention for similar reasons. Yeah, like it did surprise me. To be fair, it was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, my number 5. It's actually Renfield.
Oh fuck! I forgot you saw this. I didn't see this yet.
You still not seen it?
Nah, is it
Oh,
streaming?
wow.
Where did you probably got a screener because you're connected in ways that I'm not into the industry. So
yeah, my screener.
So absolutely, I'm gonna.
No,
Yeah,
it's
there's gonna
really
be.
entertaining.
Yeah, the next couple of weeks, there's a few films that have either just popped up on streaming, or maybe that I'll be able to like buy, or rent somewhere.
Sure.
That I'm gonna do a bit of catch up. Renfield is high on the list. I'm excited. So number 4, we're rising up the list with Evil Dead Rise. Everybody.
Would you look at that?
Is it your 4 as well?
It was.
Oh yeah, so we'll both just do it that way then. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So Evil Dead, I think everything just didn't play out the way you expected it to. I thought it did a new fun spin on that franchise. It took it in a new environment, a new setting. I thought the characters, the family dynamic was really well established and really believable. Visually, it did some fun stuff. I'm doing this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, with where she does the cartwheel across the corridor or whatever. I think it done some really fun stuff visually. This is a couple of points shy. This could have gone maybe 1 or 2 points higher up on the list. But I haven't felt the need to go and revisit it. I just know that this was a really just fun, rollicking horror experience, and it was just enough new and just enough old, and the performances and the effects and the score, all top notch. What say you?
It's funny because when I look at, I think I saw 12 films that were actually released last year, so average one a month, and it was hard to say. There was still some things that I still think the fucking elevator scene is slightly egregious. I don't maybe egregious is a bit hard, and there was a lot of fan service, but I did enjoy it. I watched it a second time in the theater. I haven't gone and done that. Obviously, we have our cheap cinema here, so I was like, it would be rude not to. And I wanted to clarify my thoughts. Was that as good as I thought it was? And the second time, there was some things that I was like, okay, but it was good. I
want to check out again because I think maybe the third act was the weakest part of the film. It kind of lost direction a little bit, but I do think just that the journey and the fun, it's not very often a horror movie can be fun and genuinely creepy at the same time. And I think this, I think it did just enough of everything to get it on that 4 spot. So cool. There we go. Coming in at number 3, here's one that I don't think you've seen yet, but coming in at number 3 for me is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah, sure. I still haven't seen it.
So I was talking about how Evil Dead, maybe I need to see again. This, I'm dying to see this again. There is so much layered in with the dialogue with the 4 turtles. They got 4 just genuine unknown teenagers, just stuck them in a recording booth. They're all talking over each other. They're all bantering. You've got Splinter. He's played by Jackie Chan in a very different way than we normally got. The art style is just super fucking, sketchy and ghetto, and it feels like modern teenagers, but also it has that that 90s, grime to it, and I think it just blends it all really well. It's really funny. The action is really great. It's heartfelt. It's endearing. I should not have liked this as much as I do. We should have all just had it. The turtles should have just died out as a thing along. I don't know why this thing keeps working in different ways, But yeah, I really like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and it's a shame we don't have Paramount Plus in the UK because I'd be watching it every day. I would have this on in the background. I don't think we do. Maybe we do have Paramount Plus. I'm not sure.
Has that? So
he's got a fucking he got a fucking connection off his screener guy, didn't he? He's got a fucking VPN. He's all hooked into the fucking Paramount mainframe.
He's very much by the book, but I don't know.
All right, cool. Number 3. You check it out, George. Honestly,
I will.
Check it out. It's good. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Suitable Flesh.
Suitable Flesh. Fuck again. Another one that I haven't seen. Damn. Yeah. Again, that's on. That's on the list of like the things that I'll be getting to within the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
That on Shudder. Yeah.
Well, if it's on Shudder, I should be fucking watching that.
I'm pretty sure.
I've still got this Shudder subscription from a movie that we watched a few months ago for the show, and then I just didn't cancel it, so I should be watching it.
Prime. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll find it. You just tell me again why it's so good.
It's it's a H.P. Lovecraft tale, directed by Joe Lynch, written by Dennis Paoli, who's notorious for some of the best H.P. Lovecraft adaptations, like Reanimator and God damn it, Stuart Gordon's other works. Why can't I think of the other one right now?
Reanimator and damn it, I've gone. It's gone.
No, From Beyond.
Be it From Beyond. I was going to say the Beyonder, but that's a Marvel character.
Anyway, yeah, but it's a really cool like take on the body swap thing. Heather Graham's pretty good in it. Barbara Crampton.
Love her. Excited. Yep.
Yeah, you'll love it. I'm pretty sure you will. That was just interesting, fun.
Absolutely. It looked like a more gnarly version of Freaky with Vince Vaughn, and I thought that was decent. Yeah. And again, I've expressed my love for Heather Graham on multiple of these shows now. So I'm going to take a vaginal dick out of my mouth and move on to pick number 2. What was my pick number 2? Was The Creator. A fairly simple story. Doesn't do anything like to stretch outside of the box narratively, but just the look of this, the scope of this, the sci-fi element, like the allegories, the metaphors, all of that stuff that you want from your art is all in here. This was so timely. Your opinion of like the geopolitical landscape of this movie is just shifting throughout the whole thing. There's never once is like, this is the side of, the good, like what you should be thinking and feeling, and this is what you should be rooting against. It is just each scene challenges your opinion of the last scene. It's fun. It's crazy good to look at. Good performance. Solid performances. The performances don't, nothing's really like striking out like crazy good. But again, I just think like the themes and the message of this movie, and it's so easy for sci-fi, especially like good, serious, like respected sci-fi, to just be so fucking dour and self-serious, and this is, but there's also, it's, after everything is said and done, it's a message of hope and love and acceptance, and we absolutely need that. We need more original shit. We need more love, hope, and acceptance, and we need, probably less AI, but make your mind up when you see the movie, for fuck's sake. It's good. Again, definitely, if you I think put that high up on your fucking priority list if you're catching up on anything.
Yeah.
And if it's available, I don't know where that's going to be streaming, if anywhere, anytime soon. And also, they made this thing for $80 million, and it didn't make its money back. But also, a lot of the movies that cost $300 million don't make their money back, and they should be doing more of this. Let's get it. Hopefully, 2024 is bringing it. And again, like referring back to earlier, I'm hoping that Civil War is like more like is in line with this, and we get more stuff like this that is just, you know, visually effective and emotionally poignant at the same time. So that's number 2.
Cool. All right. So I thought our top 2 would be the same. Evidently, they're not.
They've changed. Ooh, plot twist.
So my number 2 is
Talk to me.
I didn't see this one yet, did I?
Oh,
you
shit,
saw this. You reviewed this.
Oh,
I didn't see this. This is on Netflix.
So our number 1's definitely the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same.
It might be the same. I had a feeling our number 1 would be the same.
But
so Talk to Me was on Netflix.
Do I need to,
I don't know if it still is, but I watched like the opening scene. I was like, I'm in, and I just didn't get back round to it. But I remember you raving about it.
Yeah, man.
It might have been the same week. I think because I saw Meg 2, I think, that week. Because I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to play out the other way round, because I thought that your cinema wasn't going to, no way in hell was going to have Talk to Me, and it was probably going to have Meg 2 that weekend.
I had to go to Odeon for it.
Right. But then I was like, oh, fuck. My theatre is like a big chain. The other big chain from Odeon, Cineworld, we're not promoting, we're not plugged in. But if you want to sponsor us, please check us out at the Poproast podcast. And then I didn't end up seeing Talk to Me because they didn't have it. They just had Meg 2. And then you were like, oh, well, I was going to, you know, be local. And then I went further out and I got to see you Talk to Me, and I didn't. So,
that's
yay.
Nice.
But we will catch up and we'll come back to it. Because I've heard a lot of chatter about it since as well. Like, people, it seems to be highly regarded as like one of the better horror movies of the last few years.
Definitely.
So,
get to it. I don't know what else I can really say that hasn't been said about it, or what I didn't say before. If you want to go back to that episode, whatever number it was, can't remember.
Go back, find the episode. In fact, while you're on your way to that episode, watch all the other ones as well. Like them, subscribe them, do it all. Comment, come back here, and then tell us again.
Tell us what
George said. Yeah. We don't care what George said. Go and fucking look at what George said. And then you come back and tell me what he said, because I didn't want to listen. I want you to listen, and then maybe I'll listen. But yeah, we'll probably, if we do get the time, if we're a little bit like short on like movies coming out first couple of months, which we probably will be, maybe we'll make a point to catch up on each other's top 5 that we missed, and then we'll come back and do a little bit more.
Yeah. Should we so
number 1.
Number 1, should we just do one of those annoying things where we have a break before we reveal number 1?
After this quick break, we're going to reveal our number 1. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's not. Pick of 2023. Definitely. So right after this message, here we are. And we are back, everyone. You have waited a whole fucking year, or a good chunk of this year at the very least, which is all of this year, to find out what our number 1 picks of 2023 were. If they're the same, if they're different, if it's something that he saw that I didn't, vice versa. Are we going to say it at the same time, George? Are we, shall we try it? Because it might not be. But I think it is, but it might not be.
3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1.
When evil lurks.
Fuck's sake.
Where evil lurks.
Fuck, when, Lord, when?
When evil lurks.
Yeah, you fucked up like multiple times.
Mate,
Yeah.
he's gone past. I've joked about it so much.
But now it's ingrained in your memory forever because it's your favourite film.
I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure which one it is now. It's just burnt in there. But absolutely, this film, talking about something that just fires off fucking 110% on all cylinders.
Oh my God.
This film, it was creepy. It was tense. It was funny. The performances were great. The cinematography was amazing. Just the way the plot unfolded was, you know, was interesting and unexpected. It was, you know, a new twist on an old fucking trope. We talk about how many religious horror movies we saw and didn't like. I guess this could maybe be considered one of them.
Well, it's a possession film. Yeah,
it's possession, so it's kind of like religious, kind of adjacent, I guess. But yeah, the performances, the fact that it's foreign language, if that kind of thing deters you from watching a movie anyway, and it shouldn't, but absolutely you're engrossed 100% in the dialogue, the performances, the crazy, sometimes subtle, sometimes ridiculously over the top stuff that happens on the screen. Was expecting this to be just like, oh well, this is the most glorious film of the year, it's just a schlock fest. Like, this film, can't rave enough about it. George, am I missing anything?
No, I think to be honest, like, it was a sleeper hit, and but it really hit. Like, it was,
yeah,
they say, like, anyone who's, you know, not generally, like, I don't always do the best with subtitles, but this just, I didn't even think about it. Like, after
didn't even occur to me. I'm just glued into their eyes. Yeah.
Just, fucking hell.
You felt the history of the characters. You felt the culture, but you didn't understand everything that was going on, and it just brings you in naturally. You know, no weird, long, dramatic like exposition. Everything was just folded into the dialogue. What you needed to know. You didn't find out too much, but you didn't see too much. Well. Yeah, big reveals, big twists at the end, but, you know, not in like it's not one of those movies where you start watching it and you're like, oh well, this is gonna have a weird twist at the end, but it kind of does. And absolutely, I will be watching. I don't know about you, George, I'm not so plugged in on the Argentinian film circuit. Okay, they will not let me in the meetings.
The only Argentinian film I've ever seen.
It might be one of like 2 or 3. Only
Argentinian language films that.
Absolutely, I'm following, and I'm going to say that I'm following. Don't have the name,
Damon,
because he's got it right there. He can't say it, but we've got half the name. Okay, because you can come. I think. There you go. Poproast Podcast. We give you half the name each, and we'll figure it out. Okay. I'm going to be watching the people involved with this. I'm watching these 2 main actors.
Demian Rugna.
Demian Rugna. There we go. I can't do it. Can't roll the R if it's even meant to be rolled. I don't know.
Forgive me. It's obviously Spanish language, not Argentinian.
Well, it's the Argentinian language is Spanish. The Argentinians speak Spanish, so
a lot of South American countries natively
they love it. They love it. They love that Spanish, because you know why? Because they're all such a big fan of Christopher Columbus. They're like, we're going to do our language after that guy. No, that's not what they said, but we're loving it. We're going to be watching what they do, and it's opened our eyes up.
Yeah,
everything all right there.
Everything's great. Cheers.
Is it the cat?
It's the cat. Yeah. It's the
okay.
Cat.
So that's what we have to say. 2023. When evil lurks, it lurks at the top of both of our fucking lists, and next week, we're going to be talking about our most anticipated for the coming year. And we're probably going to do a good chunk on that because there's not a lot of shit coming out in the first few weeks, at least, of the year. And even if there was, maybe we're till fucking hungover to see it because it's been a long year. We got to cleanse. We've got to rehabilitate ourselves and come back fresh. Hopefully, new setup. This is still getting better slowly every time. Like, I think the show is getting better every time, both technically and otherwisely, conversationally, time-wise. We're getting more concise. And I want to wrap this up, George. If you've got anything else you want to say, I've got a question to ask you, and then we're done. All right.
No, not much
it's
else.
Not weird. Okay, so harkening back to a couple of weeks ago, we said that you and Godzilla was officially founding members of the G Club.
All right.
So I started thinking about who else might be in the G Club.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than do one of my things where I sit here and roll off a list, I thought maybe at the end of every episode, I could present you with a potential candidate and you can just yay or nay them into the G Club. You down for this?
Am I president of the G Club then? Do I have to initiate?
You're President G. President G. You don't have to do nothing weird. You don't have to do nothing weird. Just to prove.
Right, okay.
You can give a reason, or you don't have to give a reason. It's up to you. I feel like that might change depending on week to week who it is. All right. So first member or candidate is Gene Hackman. This Gene Hackman, lifelong legendary actor of multiple decades. Does he make it into the G Club? And there's no judgment here. Your word is final, and we will accept it, and that's fine.
I'm just going to leave it for a second for suspense.
Right. Yeah, I have my own personal thoughts on
100%. Yeah.
He's in. He's in. Yeah, he's in. Yeah. All right. Gene Hackman, everybody, is
alone.
Would
probably.
Yeah.
He's done a bit,
If it was, French Connection, like how could you not? It's a landslide. However, if it was the D Club and it was Dean Hackman, I'm saying sorry, ma'am. I love all your accomplishments, but he didn't shave his head for Lex Luthor. He didn't want to do it. So he might be in the G Club, but to me, he'll always be a little bit of a bitch. And on that note, I think we're done. Are we done here, George? We will see everyone next week. Thanks, everyone. Click everything. Just click everywhere on your screen and just hope for the best. Find that like, find that subscribe. Come back next time, and we'll see you there. Peace.
Peace. Bye. In a bit.